Session 8, Subagents and Delegation. Exploration consumes context. A specialist subagent can investigate one bounded concern in an isolated context and return a compact result. Delegation is valuable only when the boundary reduces interference or enables independent work. By the end of this session, you will know how to spot a task worth delegating, how to write a delegation contract, how to keep parent ownership intact, how to sequence versus parallelize safely, and how to diagnose the 6 most common failure modes. Why do subagents exist? A specialist can read a file, run a search, or check a subsystem without polluting the main context with every intermediate thought. The boundary only earns its cost when it reduces interference, a noisy investigation that would derail the parent, or enables independent work that would otherwise have to wait. The opposite is also true. A task where the next step depends on every prior observation, a task that is trivially small, a task where 2 agents would edit the same file, or a task where coordination overhead exceeds the exploration itself, none of those should be delegated. Delegation is a tool, not a default. The architecture is a small tree. The main agent owns the outcome. It dispatches a specialist A for a bounded security review and a specialist B for a bounded test gap analysis. Each specialist runs in its own context, returns a compact contract, and exits. The main agent then validates every claim, resolves conflicts between the 2 reports, and synthesizes the final answer. The single most important sentence in this architecture, a subagent result is evidence to inspect, not an authority to repeat. The parent is responsible for the final claim. If the parent forwards an unverified finding, that is a parent bug, not a subagent bug. Every assignment should specify 6 essential fields. Objective, 1 sentence that names the deliverable. Input scope, exactly which files, paths, or identifiers the agent is allowed to consider. Allowed tools, the read-only tools needed to inspect. Forbidden actions, writes, network calls, anything that could mutate state. Output schema, severity, evidence, impact, confidence, capped at a small number of findings. Stop condition, a measurable point at which the agent must hand back control. Skip any of these and the assignment degrades into investigate everything, which is not a delegation contract. It is an open-ended search that will run until the context is exhausted. Delegate when the work is independent. An independent security analysis on a bounded diff. A test coverage gap review. A documentation consistency check. An exploration of a separate subsystem that the main thread has not touched. A comparison of 2 bounded approaches that each have a clear, distinct deliverable. Keep work local when the next step depends immediately on each observation, when the task is tiny, when 2 agents would edit the same files, when context separation would lose essential nuance, or when coordination cost exceeds the exploration itself. The rule of thumb, if the synthesis step needs everything the agent read, you did not save anything by delegating. Parallel delegation has a pre-flight checklist. First, no shared writes. 2 agents must never target the same path, the same line, or the same branch. Second, no hidden dependency. Neither agent's output should be required as input to the other at synthesis time. Third, distinct deliverables. A security report and a test gap report are distinct. 2 agents both writing a summary are not. Fourth, a defined synthesis method. Who reads both outputs, in what order, and against what rubric. Fifth, a conflict resolution rule. What happens when the 2 specialists disagree? Run all 5 before launching a parallel run. Skip one and the parallel work turns into a race condition you debug after the fact. Guided lab, build a read-only specialist reviewer. Step 1, define one narrow review domain, security, or test coverage, or documentation. Step 2, allow only the read tools needed to inspect. Step 3, forbid modifications explicitly. Step 4, require every finding to carry severity, evidence, impact, and confidence. Step 5, cap the number of findings so the agent does not pad. Step 6, include a no confirmed findings outcome as a valid result. Step 7, test on a known defective diff, confirm the specialist surfaces the known issue. Step 8. Test on a clean diff, confirm the specialist returns no findings. Step 9. Inspect out-of-scope behavior, feed it an unrelated file and confirm it refuses. Step 10. Verify the parent checks every returned claim. 6 failure modes to recognize on site. A subagent edits despite review-only intent, the forbidden actions list was missing, or the model found a write tool that was not excluded, harden the allow list. 2 agents duplicate the same review, the contract overlap was not detected at planning time, revise until ownership is unambiguous. Output contains claims without file paths or line numbers, schema did not enforce evidence, reject the report and rerun with a stricter output schema. The parent forwards a false positive, the parent skipped the validation step, that is a parent bug, fix the parent. The subagent received too much repository context, input scope was unbounded, tighten it. And 2 parallel agents depend on each other's unfinished result, the pre-flight checklist missed a hidden dependency, serialize or restructure. That is session 8. Subagents earn their cost only when the boundary reduces interference or enables independent work. Write a delegation contract with objective, input scope, allowed tools, forbidden actions, output schema, and stop condition before invoking. Keep parent ownership intact. A subagent result is evidence, not authority. Run the 5-step parallel preflight before any fan-out. Build 1 read-only specialist, run the guided lab, ship only when both the defective and clean diff tests pass. And diagnose the failure lab by symptom, not by blame. Next session, composing MCP, skills, hooks, and subagents into a layered guardrail architecture.